Hey there, this is Gina with your Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic. For today's Minute Clinic, I'd like to talk to you about serger tension. This is one of the things that people really struggle with when they're working with a serger. So we'll start with a 4-thread stitch, and generally your 4 tension dials are going to be set at the same number all the way across. Let me stitch a sample for you and we'll take a look. I'm sewing today on the Janome 793 PG serger. This is a nice manual threading serger. So as we take a look at our stitch, we can see that we have our upper looper and our lower looper, and these 2 rows of straight stitches here, that's our needle. And so generally when you get your needle tensions dialed in, there's no need to change those tensions. As you're changing to your different stitches, you really only need to change the looper tension. If we look on the back here, we can see this is nice and tight. We don't see any loops here where our needles go through the fabric. So that's set perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of one of our threads and take the needle out, and I'm going to show you that as I change the stitch, we don't have to change that needle tension. So I'm going to remove my left needle. So when you've got the left needle in, you're doing a wide serger stitch. That's a stitch that generally you're going to use when you're constructing or sewing something together with the serger, particularly if you're sewing knits. Oftentimes if I'm sewing a straight stitch seam on my regular sewing machine, I'll just finish off my edges with a narrow 3-thread serger stitch. So I've removed my left needle. Now I'm going to go up to my 2 right tension dials. This is the lower looper and the upper looper. And I'm just going to adjust those up by about 1 whole number. And I'm leaving my 2 needle tensions alone. These are the right needle and the left needle. I'm going to leave those as is. Let me sew another sample for you here. And so this is our 3-thread stitch. If we compare it to the 4-thread stitch, you can see I have an extra row of straight stitching. Here we have 2 rows of straight stitching. Here we only have 1 row of straight stitching. And so you'll see the only thing I changed was on those looper tensions. So one other thing that we can do with just the right needle in is a rolled hem. And again, it's just an adjustment on the looper tension. We're going to leave the needle tension as is. So for the rolled hem, I'm going to take my lower looper up a couple more numbers, just that one, and I'm going to have to pull back my stitch finger and just adjust my stitch length. And I should be good to go there. We're sewing a shorter stitch length when we do a rolled hem, so it takes a little bit longer to get that through the machine there. And there you'll see, I'll zoom in my camera for you here. There we go, now you can get a good look at that. Our nice rolled hem, and all we've adjusted there is the 1 looper tension. So don't worry so much about your needle tensions when you're sewing on your serger. There's really not much need to change them, except when you're doing a flat lock stitch, so which most people don't do too often. So get brave about your serger and do some serging. This has been your Minute Clinic.